the house with me today. Hi guys.
Hi, hello.
I'll let them introduce themselves, but listen, we've got an amazing, interesting conversation that's about to take place, titled The Male Perspective on the Question, What Women Want. The male perspective. Just enjoy the conversation. So I'll let the gentlemen introduce who they are and how they're going to be contributing to the conversation today. Yes.
Okay, my name is Harry. I'm not married yet. I'm going to be married in a couple of months. I'll say I have some experience. Gentlemen, and this wonderful woman here as well.
All right, my name is Alex Lexten, Eleni, filmmaker, and I'm glad to be on this panel to share a bit of my experience when it borders and what I think the 21st century woman wants in relationship, locally and globally.
I like that, locally and globally. Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, Abbas, additional assistant, that's my name. And I have 15-year experience in marriage. We'll see what we can take home from it.
Thank you, Abbas. Thank you, Abbas. Thank you, Alex. And thank you, Harry. We're in for a great treat. And so it's great to have you guys in the studio. So how did this topic even come about? I've been doing a number of talk shows on various topics, and I regularly get guys, just chat me up and say, listen, it would be really nice for you to say something that looks at what the woman wants, and what does the Nigerian woman in particular want. We're very much in the age, you talked about the 21st century, where it's all about the Me Too, it's all about pay parity, equal rights and all of that stuff. And what a lot of Nigerian guys will say, but with the Nigerian woman, those rules don't always apply. They want all of that, but they also want the man to take care of the home, provide all the financial support, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought, listen, you know what, why not have a few guys come around in the studio and let's have a conversation for them to give their perspective on what they believe the woman wants, right? Okay, so we've got someone that's just about to be married. Obviously, he has been in relationships. And you guys that have been in your marriages for some years. And of course, the truth is that what we say today is not going to reflect all opinions. But it will be an interesting conversation anyway. And hopefully the audience will find some alignment and thoughts of interest that maybe they weren't thinking about, right, guys?
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, who's going to start? What do women want today? What does the Nigerian woman want today? Do you, Alex? Yes. No?
Well, in my few years in relationship, I've come to summarize what I think the average Nigerian woman wants is primarily loyalty, and irrespective of her background, whatever she has, she just wants you to be there for her, like you rightly said. The intro, following the Western influence and culture, our women still want men that they can really go to rest, being sure that the guy will be there to take care of the necessary responsibility. Yeah. So pretty much. So I think loyalty is the anything for me.
Yeah. So right up there, top of the list for you. Okay. Abbas, what are your thoughts?
Well, in order to understand what the Nigerian woman really wants, we need to understand what or who is the Nigerian woman.
Right.
Or we should, let's broadly, we need to understand who or define who is a woman. From that understanding, we'll be able to take it further. Many believe that women are very complex. Many believe that women, you can't really boast and to say that you know them. Irrespective of your years in marriage, it appears that you're still learning and you keep learning. It's a kind of institution that you never get a certificate. You never graduate.
You never graduate. You said that earlier. I think it's so awesome. It's such an awesome
So let's look at it. Who is a woman? let's take our argument from that perspective, and we can take it further from there. And secondly, I feel there are 7 qualities that generally now, 7 qualities that every woman really wants, or 7 things that an average woman desires.
In a man?
In a man.
Or from her man, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
The first one for me is honesty. The second one is understanding. The third one is caring. The fourth one, is security, both financial and literal. The fifth one is blind loyalty.
Which
blind
you talked about, Alex.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
And the seventh one. Maybe somebody help me.
Harry, can you add?
I was just going to add to what the other guys have said. I would sort of not agree with one of the points that the both of you mentioned, which was loyalty. And I think on the average, it seems like every woman wants a loyal man. But I've met quite a lot of women who don't mind, who have accepted the fact that all men cheat.
Or that their man might cheat.
And so they don't mind, they really don't mind if their man cheats, as long as he takes care of her and her children, and they are fine. And so they have just sort of accepted that philosophy of life. And for a lot of them, they say they have their peace in their home. The man can go out, do whatever he wants, and comes back as long as he pays the school fees, he puts food on the table, he pays the house rent, and what have you. They are fine. They have a happy home. So maybe it's not a question. Maybe this answer would be not a question of what the woman wants, but what the woman has come to accept, instead of in the average man.
And is it? And by the way, guys, this is a perspective. It's not. Harry's not saying every woman, and certainly it's your kind of point of view. But do you mean that every woman, or is there a particular kind of woman that would carry that perspective of the kind of man that she would want, the way that you just described it there? Is that every woman, or is there a particular woman that takes that point of view?
Obviously, not every woman. Women come in all kinds of
flavors.
As the men.
Flavors, just like the men as well.
Yeah.
So, I was speaking with Alex before we started, and he said some of these things happen right at the beginning of relationships, before they even go into, marriage. And then, so they've known this guy to be someone who, for example, has got multiple partners, and somehow they went in and they believe probably that he will change. And then they've grown to understand now that, hey man, this guy doesn't change. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to someone who feel that all men, even when I say, hey, say, hey man, don't tell me that all men cheat.
But isn't there something about the kind of, in maybe some of those scenarios, it's about the kind of men that particular individual chooses to,
or sort of attract?
Chooses to be attracted to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I know for sure, not all men. And if there's anything that I've recognized, and particularly with a lot of the millennial guys, is that they're more. There are a lot more out there. There are a lot more of them out there that are very into their families, are very very much into being very supportive, being involved with the children, and so on and so forth. Not all, but that. I see more of that. I see more of that. So it's quite interesting. By the way, the list that you guys have, the list of things that you guys mentioned was quite interesting because I was doing some stuff on Google, as you do, and one of the various websites came up with this list of things in response to what do women want from men, and the list, and it's interesting because it aligns with some of the things that you said. To know she's loved, understanding and forgiveness, real conversation, quality time with her and the family and the children, it says, to hear yes more than no.
Agreement.
To be, and you often and that's not even an African thing or a Nigerian thing.
Generally.
You know, even when you watch the movies, they'll say whatever she says yes. So to be listened to, affection and kindness, and I think Abbas, you mentioned that. Shared household and child rearing responsibilities. I want to come back to that shortly. A day off now and then, basically having quality time, letting it not always being about looking after the home, looking after the children, being pampered, essentially. A healthier attitude about their health. So men taking good care of themselves. So not drinking, smoking, really just being mindful about their health. Just going back to the whole thing about shared household and child rearing responsibility. So one of the things that I'm sure you guys have observed, that again is another big trend that we have now, where we have families where you have the husband living in one country, and then you have the wife and the children living somewhere else in another country. And sometimes it might be the man that's here, and then the wife and the children abroad, or sometimes not that much. It might be it might be the other way around. So the wife and the children are here, and the husband's abroad. I'm aware of definitely 3 good cases where the pressure of the wife coping in another place, not having the support system the way we have it here in Nigeria. As you know, with labour being so cheap and all of that, you can have literally a household of staff at very low cost. So not having those sort of support systems around you the way you have here, so then it becomes a really pressured thing for the wife, looking after the children, managing work and so on and so forth. So how do you think those kind of scenarios have a bearing on this question of what women want? How is that playing out? So that's very much a 21st century phenomenon.
Most times when you have most times when you have the husband for instance in Nigeria, and you have the wife maybe in the United States or maybe any other country, and you see the two are trying to get things going. The husband is trying to attend to his responsibility as a husband, and the woman also is trying to do her own, part of that. For me, that's not really a perfect, arrangement, marriage, arrangement. The husband certainly will cheat. The wife too,
Hey, it's a perspective. It's a perspective.
It's a disorganized, kind of, marriage. It's not really a perfect marriage arrangement. You understand? But however, you see some, doing it, or trying to manage, the whole pressure, challenges, the managing the work. But I tell you, over 70%, just know that this man, I just want this man because he's, shouldering the bill, or he's paying the bills, or I want this woman because we are connected, why I try to enjoy my, for me, I don't really envy, and I don't subscribe to that kind of marriage agreement or relationship. Distant relation for me is a no-no.
Yeah. Do you think that, again, point of view, is it your perspective that as long as the Nigerian man is taking care of everything financially, again coming back to the point that you made, taking care of everything financially, enough money to run the household, paying the children's school fees, basically doing all the holidays and everything, the man takes care of it, that gives him full license to kind of kind of do what he wants.
Well, like I said, for a lot of for a lot of ladies, they don't mind. They prefer that scenario to a man who wouldn't provide all their needs and be faithful to them.
So if they have the choice.
Yes, exactly. However, just to sort of add to what he said, I mean, I would completely agree that it's a disorganized arrangement. For some people, they do it for a short while. I mean, they have it planned out 3-4 years, and then finally they come back together.
Yeah.
But I know someone, for example, who was here, had a fantastic job, had his family somewhere in America, I'm not sure where now, but he bought a house and they were doing well as well. The kids were in school. And then he was here and just living the life. And then all of a sudden, he wakes up one morning and he sees his wife and his children at the door. And the woman says, "Hey, I can't go on this way. I'm coming back. I really need to come." So obviously, I'm sure they've had conversations about her returning or he coming over and all of that. How does it end up? They actually end up separated, because the guy says, "I want you there while I'm here," and then for some reason they are not able to sort of agree and reconcile their thing, and then the girl moves on and the guy moves on as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a cultural thing. It's been long, African culture that men can do as they please, they so please, and the women will.
But do you still believe that's the way it is?
I really don't think that's the way marriage itself. If we want to look at the origin as a Christian anyway, looking at the history, going back, doing proper etymology of the word marriage itself, it wasn't intended to be that way, and because it's a prevailing attitude or behavior or pattern in this part of the world, doesn't mean it's okay for us to normalize it and be pro nonsense. Sorry for pro insects. So I really. If people cheat for lots of reasons, like different reasons, like some people will never be satisfied no matter what the lady does, even if she, she's being a good wife, a good mother to the children, taking care of the home. I think it's just in them, some of us, not me anyway, but in some of us, to just go that way. However, I wouldn't say, just like, okay, I have a male child, for instance, growing up and sister growing up, the experiences are not the same, and there are some things that are a plus to the male child growing that you won't find it in the female, and there are some things that are a plus on the female child you won't find in the male child.
Yeah.
That it happens to be like, how would I put it? You find out that this guy, the male child, is more how would I call it? More there's tenacity, more energy.
Yeah.
When the visitor comes to the house, he's not shy. He comes straight to you, looks at your face that you must look at me, engage me, let's discuss, let's have a conversation. But the sister, the elder sister, will never. She just hide herself inside. Now, that's my own typical picture.
Yes.
But for me, do I now look at that and now say, because my guy is kind of an extrovert and the girl is an introvert, does it now make it enough for me to have that expectation on every other person? No.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it applies to the situation we're talking about. That people, yes, we know that culturally we say, just give her money, make her feel fine, open one shop for her, set her up, give her one business, and just be liberating all the chicks in town, But for me, it doesn't cut it.
Yeah. And you don't agree that that's the way it is everywhere.
We should. I think we should start using platforms as such like this to correct it.
Yeah.
I absolutely don't agree with that kind of lifestyle. But
you're about to get married, Harry, so
I absolutely don't subscribe.
Just to correct any kind of paradigms that you might have going on.
I'm a Christian. Obviously, I'm a Christian as well. I believe in the one man, one wife thing. Not extramarital thing. Even in your relationship before you get married. But it just when I hear of these stories, it makes me laugh. I heard about one man. I'm sorry I'm coming up with all of these negative this sort of stories, but I heard about one guy. He's a chief. He's some big man somewhere, and he says, he's in some beer parlor gisting with his friends, and he says, if I catch my wife cheating, it's all over. If she catches me cheating, it's also all over for her. So the point really was that what is she doing, sneaking up on me and getting me and catching me red-handed? She does that.
She's in trouble.
I'm sending her away as well.
Yeah. So there's a real sort of thinking.
I think that's why it's popular in the Western world. You use with misogynistic men that it's okay for you as a man to do that, but it's not okay for the woman to.
The French are big on that as well, actually. In the French culture, men. It's very acceptable for men to have affairs and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a. I mean, so really interesting. I can't wait to have ladies. Taking the seats and responding to the question for the men. So do you think that more or less, we do understand what it is that, or you do as men understand what it is that the 21st woman wants?
Yeah.
Whether we're doing it is a completely different thing.
But we all have an idea.
But there's also the angle, the kind of Nigerian angle spin on it. And you said this thing that has been said about. I mean, you're both very quick to say, well, I'm a Christian, and therefore I don't do that. I'm sorry, but in Nigeria, the label of Christianity doesn't seem to stop. Am I wrong? Doesn't seem to stop sort of bad behavior. I mean, we're very vocal as being sort of God-fearing people, but there's always that kind of that question mark.
Being a Christian in the first place doesn't mean you're not human faced with the challenges every other person faces. It's just a choice. Like, okay, I decide to work with this religious worldview and submit to its tenets. That's it. It goes now having struggles, like having personal struggles, which sometimes you can trace it to maybe the family background or the culture, the environment. Shouldn't now be a label for us to say all these Christians say, and they're the ones who be attacking women, who be doing this, who be taking advantage of men or raping women, whatever. But it doesn't mean that being a Christian is something I'm proud of.
Or a religious person, period. It doesn't matter whether it's Christian or.
It's the individual. It's not so much about the
bottom line.
It's an individual.
Absolutely.
A lot of terrible altar people. A lot of terrible, how you call it, pew people, like congregation. So it's the individual.
It's the individual. I was going to just say about
your question on if the men or we Nigerians men really understand what our women really want. For me, I would say we are just learning. But we are not really there. Maybe 40. My rating maybe 40%. I did a research recently, and I discovered that all we see, maybe physical things or life experiences and all that a woman really wants, is not really the thing of them. What a woman really wants, as discovered by me, is that a woman, or every woman, wants to be in charge of her life. So the love thing, the understanding, the caring, the honesty, security, everything embedded in that, or is towards the actualization of that, that a woman really requires that. She wants to be in charge of her life. And unfortunately, our society is not accepting that. The law is also not there to protect. You see, it's taboo for like a 30-year-old, eligible for marriage. Is not getting married and would want to stay in father's house in Nigeria. They see her as, substandard. She's not really. She can't talk. You know, there's only only people like you. You go and look for husband. Or a woman with a little challenge in her husband's house, you know, can't come back and live with her parents comfortably. Society ridicule her, but she can't speak, you know, and a whole lot of other things like that. So me, I am learning, you know. I know no matter how much I learned,
you will never graduate from the school.
but the little I, by that discovery, you know, really enabled me to now understand, you know, most of the things that women have been doing. You know, before I feel no place for this, no place for that. But I discovered that every woman really wants to be in charge of her life. She wants to be loved. It's towards being in charge of her life. She feels that this is my right. I should or I must be loved as a woman. You know, honesty, you should be honest to me. Tell me all those things that I need to know. Before those happenings or those things eventually will happen, let me have a pre-knowledge, a pre-idea of those things before they happen. You know, financially, you should be a man. The other word for man is responsibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Any man that is not responsible is not a man. Because what really, but the meaning of a man is responsibility. The moment you deviate or you fail to do that or to perform that duty and responsibility, you're not seen as a man. The woman expects our man to be strong. You know, she expects protection. That my man should be physically and otherwise. You know, and unfortunately, most of our men prefer the strong man. You know, either physical or whatever.
Well, most of the women prefer the strong man.
Yes, they prefer. You know, maybe financially, or they like the physical attributes too.
Yeah.
The woman wants to see you, you know, tone and, you know, your moves, everything. You know, at least she wants you to be, you know, like somebody she can really, you know, she wants you to be presentable at all the time, all time. You know, no excuse for whatever. You know, there are women, or the Nigerian women, you know, now would not forgive a man.
Let's get your mic.
Okay.
I want everybody to hear exactly what you're saying.
Yes. A man may fail in other, you know, aspects, but not the aspect of responsibility. You must be responsible. And what are we talking about? Pay your children's school fees, be responsible for the house rent, be responsible for feeding, but be responsible for everything. Even if she makes her home money, close your eyes as if you're not saying anything. But don't ask her to, don't burden her with anything.
Can I come in?
Sorry, let her have her money and bring your home money for the spending. So with that, you are a responsible man. It's a cliche.
My money is my money. Your money is our money. However, I think there are things. I think one of the reasons why I will differ with you on a lot of the points you made. I think some of the challenges we have now we have a lot of ladies that are not married for a very long time is because in trying to be empowered, like for instance, just to make that point clear, I'm pro women equality, equal opportunity. However, I'm also pro men are fundamentally different from women. They're not the same, will never be the same, never created to be the same in the first place, but rather created to complement each other. So if we can, I will not bring my sledgehammer and just say, we've been destroying, because I know a lot of good men who sacrifice everything to see their woman do well, you know, turn out. I mean, a lot of cultural itself, even amongst the Igbo people, you can see an Igbo man trekking on the street and his wife is driving on a SUV, you know. So there are people who actually have that, you know, but to like use a big brush and just smear every Nigerian man with that is something I don't feel comfortable with.
No, it's not a blanket.
But some, yeah, I know culturally, that's why I said everything stems from our culture, where we're coming from, you know, but in all of these things, my standard will usually be what's the essence, the original purpose for marriage itself. You know, who ordained marriage? You understand? Even if you look at it from the three popular religious sects, the Jewish, the Islam, and Christianity, you always go, everything goes back to God. You know, so God's standard should be the standard for us looking at marriage. Now you say, oh, the Bible is very misogynistic and doesn't give room for women empowerment and blah 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 blah. You may cite some Paul's quotation or say, maybe women don't preach blah blah, but some of those admonishments are usually cultural, relates to the environment he was addressing at that time. It's not a generic citation like, okay, women don't preach, for instance. No, it was from talking to the church in Corinth. What's the history behind the people in Corinth? Are the women very bossy? Are they very unruly? Are they very they don't submit or whatever? You know, you have to look at the cultural context, you know, before, you know, so that we help those young girls. Because most times I've discovered in trying to solve a problem, we create more problems. In trying to empower the ladies, we misinform them, and we will not take them to our homes. You won't even want your brother to get married to that kind of a woman, because you will feel at the end of the day, this one will complete also, this one will slap also. You get what I'm saying? Or I can't say anything. Do you understand? And so just to like create a balance to what he said.
Yeah. Interesting. Harry, do you want to add?
Just to bring some humor into
Yeah.
this.
They were
So
fun.
I heard a joke. So if you had asked single women at different stages in their life what they wanted in a man, I heard they're different things. So you meet a 19, 20-year-old girl, for example, and say, well, what do you want in a man?
Looks.
And she says, tall, dark, muscular,
kind of where a woman is in their life.
drives a BMW, stays in Lekki Phase 1, you know, works in Shell, Chevron, that kind of thing. And then you meet that same person 7, 8, 9 years later and say, okay, what do you want in a man? She says, well, I don't mind the guy who has a 3-bedroom flat in Surrey. that's reality. Reality check. 3-bedroom flat in Surrey, drives a Toyota Camry.
God fearing.
You know, I don't mind.
God fearing is a very popular one.
God fearing.
In other words, he shouldn't cheat.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And then unfortunately, meet that same person 5 years after maybe 35, 36 years of age, and you ask her the same question, and she says, man.
Whether I get cheated
Just
I think on that note, great conversation. I can promise the audience and you guys, we're going to come back to this. We need a part 2. It's been brilliant, guys. Thank you so much. Any last words, and then we're going to round it off. But it's been brilliant. There is so much more that we can talk about. But yeah, let's end it here. But last words, guys. Was that your last word, Harry? Do I hand over to?
the other guys.
Okay. For me, we should keep learning about women. Women are very fantastic, you know, kind of creatures. Then let's just keep learning. One day we'll graduate. The masters.
For me, I think not every woman is the same, just as not every man is the same. Whoever you find yourself with, just try and understand who she is and what works with her. Because there are some women who may be comfortable with you, being very smooshy, romantic, and there are some others that don't want that. You know, so it's just be smart enough. Let it be a learning experience for you, a learning curve. You know, when you meet her and try to understand, okay, what type of woman. And there's a place for mentorship as well. Learn from other successful people with successful relationships, successful marriage. You understand? And even if you can't meet them on their books, their materials on these things, you know, you can learn from.
So I don't think there's one perfect man in this entire universe.
Or one perfect woman either. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so my own woman tells me, that she wants a man who is a provider, who is a priest, sort of some spiritual covering for her, and then who is also a protector. You know, and for me, those are the three pieces I work with. I mean, there are other things that will come from that, you know, which she mentioned, understanding her love languages, what are the things she wants, you know, you to constantly do that would, you know, pull her closer and all of that. But I agree with the guy, it's a learning experience, it's something that, you know, we just go on learning, and then, like I said, there's no perfect man, no perfect woman, so it means there's no perfect relationship.
No, absolutely. Guys, amazing. We are all individuals and we should all seek to learn from each other.
Yeah.
Male, female, whatever the case may be. Yeah. It's been awesome. Thank you very much. There'll be a continuation of this, and I'm also going to get the women in the house as well.
Together.
Absolutely. Yeah, and maybe, yeah. And then actually, that would be good. But let's leave it here and let's say goodbye to our audience. It's been an amazing time with Flora where we talk, we've learned, and we're growing, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll say bye-bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.